99 Team Builders were released in Hockey Ultimate Team, and in this video, we are going to go over the cost, as well as the best ways to make it a little bit cheaper for you, a deal that's actually in the store, as well as ranking all three of the new 99 Team Builders, and the situation in which I think that you should do the trade-in for them. Let's get into it. So, full disclosure, I did trade in Danny Heatley and Chris Pronger for Joe Thornton. I've obviously got a massive hole that I'm going to have to fill with the loss of Chris Pronger, but Joe Thornton's one of my favorite players of all time, and he's 99 across the board, so really can't complain there. He is going to be a fantastic card, no matter what way you look at it. In terms of value, I don't think it's there at all for any of these 99s, but let's take a look at some of the other things EA added in to, again, like I said, help lower the cost. Now, like all of the other team builders, this will require the prior tier and having two of them. So 96 was the prior release. You will need two of them to make any of the 99s, whether you want Joe Thornton, Eric Lindros, or Rob Blake. However, the cost is quite high. Assuming you could get every player for 800 coins, which at the current price, you really can't, but nonetheless, let's say 800 is the absolute lowest. That would be 20,000 coins per team to get one 84 overall team builder. You need 6 of those to get any of the 87s, which would run you 120,000. You need 2 87s to get any of the 90s, 240k, 2 90s for a 93, 480,000, and then 2 93s for a 96, 960,000 coins. That means that to get one of the 99s, it is going to cost you 1.9 million coins in value to get any of these 99s. Now, obviously, if you have multiple of 96s already, then you've got some choice to make, and I'll talk about that in just a little bit, but I wanted to bring everyone up to speed on just the cost itself because it is astronomical. Now, EA did add in an objective path that will have you doing different objectives with Team Builder cards. So for this, you've got to do 90 passes, 60 assists, 105 shots, and 35 goals. Honestly, comparing this to prior weeks and months objective paths, this is actually quite low. The only issue is that getting a bunch of team builder cards is quite expensive, but the reward is a 90 overall team builder player item. And again, by going with the math, that's 240,000 coins in value, which is a massive bonus, even if you're just trading in. Like in my case, I traded in Pronger. I need someone to just go in there. Getting a 90 overall defenseman at least fills the gap a little bit, and again, saves you 240,000 coins if you're looking to upgrade your team builders. Now, to get these objectives done, there are some ways to make it much easier. The first would be to head over to Moments and go to Weekly Moments Challenge, and you will see that you've got some various objectives here that are very, very basic. They're just win the game, which is very frustrating because live moments should just be actual moments, not just blanket win game. This reminds me of offline challenges, which is what the dev team spent all year removing for this game. But nonetheless, after the fourth one, you will get a random 84 overall team builder item. If you go all the way to the end, you will get a second 84 overall team builder player item, not only lowering the cost if you wanted to make some team builders, but at least these cards will allow you to do the objective path. You really only need one. You could get all this done in squad battles on Rookie. We've talked about this a ton when it comes to objectives, but if you wanted to help yourself out a little bit, you could do these moments quickly and get those 84 overall items. Now, if you don't want to play through moments, you want to speed things up, or if you've already done them and you want to make more of the 84 overall team builders, please remember the NHL 24 training sets. These have been used all year round, and it is still one of the best values in the game. Because if you go to the 79 overall training camp battles player set, this was at the beginning of the game, you can take any 2 gold players. This would be any non-NHL gold players that you've got in your collection, like let's say these 2. You can cash these in, and it will give you a pack, which was a choice pack of 5 different items. At the time, there were 79 overall, unless they made the roster out of camp, and they all did. So if you want to quickly turn in cards that are not going to be used for team builders, like gold non-NHLers, you have 5 teams here that you could pick from, and you could just do this set over and over and over again until you've completed it, or to drastically reduce the cost of making one of them. And again, you can do this as many times as you want. I've done it probably over 300 times when I was doing team builders. Lastly, I can't stand packs, guys. I think you guys have known that if you've been watching my channel for years. I really hate the gambling aspect of this game, but it is a part of it. However, I do like to point out when packs are worth it. So in this just absolute mess that the store has become, I apologize for any newer player here because it's just confusing regardless. Even if you wanted to spend money, this is a disaster. If you head on all the way over, you see there's team builder packs now because they want you to spend money on the game. Notice this 93 overall team builder pack, 480,000 coins, and you get a guaranteed 93 overall team builder item. This is worth it. Again, just by going with the math that you could get every NHL player item for 800 coins, which you really can't, it would end up at minimum 480,000 coins. So let's say you have a ton of coins or you wanted to actually build team builders, it's faster just to do these packs. They're only in store at the time of this recording for another 2 days, but these are actually worth it. All the other ones, the value doesn't check out. I wouldn't recommend them at all, but this literally makes you coins in a sense if you were going to cash them in, because you get 15 items as well. But nonetheless, to make a 93, it's going to cost you 480,000 coins. So I just want to point that out. This pack is actually good. All right, let's rank them. We're going to start at number 3. In my opinion, it is Joe Thornton. It pains me. He's an extremely good card. But again, you have to take into what you're trading in to be able to acquire this card. 99 everything at 6'4", 220 is among one of the best cards that we're going to get in the game, especially with the stranglehold EA has on giving us any upgrades for extremely popular players and getting speed up to 99, like Team of the Season cards, for example. He does offer lineup flexibility and 99 faceoffs, as well as 99 skating. The thing here is simply just his abilities. Total Eclipse is a very fun ability, and I can't wait to try a full Total Eclipse build, but it is not going to be nearly as impactful in terms of an ability. Puck on a String and Big Tipper are also much less impactful than other ones. Unstoppable Force, I don't think is really necessary on someone who's 6'4", 220. Quick Draw is a very good ability, but only if you play him on center. And then Tape to Tape, again, just not nearly as impactful as some other abilities. So really, his abilities are what's holding him back. This is still a great card, and I'm very excited to use it. Number 2 is Rob Blake, 6'4", 220. Again, great side. The issue here is that there are already bigger defensemen. Not only that, there is a lot of other right-handed defensemen that we're going to get. For example, Cale Makar is going to hit 99 potentially next week. Not that he's better than Rob Blake, but it's just there is a lot more at the position that are going to be impactful. Gold Truculence is great, as is Quick Pick. Edges could be fun on this card at 99 skating across the board. He is going to be an absolute weapon. I don't want to take anything away from him there, but that is why he would be number 2 in my opinion. And then number 1 is Eric Lindros. Again, same size as Joe Thornton, 20 pounds heavier. He does come with Gold Elite Edges, which I actually have come around on. It appears with all of the changes to different abilities and how NHL 24 works, it does feel like Elite Edges is going to give you an advantage in game. Back at you is again another one of those perimeter abilities. Unstoppable Force, not really needed, but he does have Truculence, and at 99, Truculence is massive because one hit with a player with Truculence essentially wipes out a card's stamina on that shift. He's also got Make It Snappy, and if you want to put him at center, he's got Silver Quick Draw. Just the whole package together, I think, make him the best of the 99 builders. Doesn't necessarily mean that he's worth it, but I do think that he is the best one. All right, now let's talk about whether you should trade them in and for who. First of all, if any of your cards are your favorite players, please always use that as your first tiebreaker. I'll be honest, spoiler alert, Joe Thornton, in my opinion, out of these 3 is the 3rd best. And as you can see, I went with him. So there are a couple options here. I'm going to try and talk through as many combinations as I possibly can. Let's talk if it's worth upgrading these guys. Blanket statement, no, it's not. You're trading in 2 million coin cards for a 3 overall increase, and in most cases, like Danny Heatley can get up to 98 speed. There really isn't that much of a difference. And in the case of Chris Pronger, who in my opinion has been one of the best cards that I've used all year, he's 6'6", 220 with Gold Shutdown and Truculence. He's better than Rob Blake in my opinion, especially because Pronger can get up to 98 speed. So just have to put that out there. I honestly think the only way in which any of these are worth it is if you have all 4 and you went with a combination of like Weber and Heatley and made Lindros or Rob Blake. And the reason being is because there's so many right-handed defensemen. Not that Shea Weber is bad, great card. And Danny Heatley is a pure winger. Like, again, fantastic card. I've loved using it, but he can't play center. Both Thornton and Lindros, if you wanted to, are 99 speed. They're massive, and they can play on the wing because nothing really changes. They have 99 face-off, so they have complete lineup flexibility. So, in my opinion, the only one that I would entertain is if I was trying to, like, min-max, would be Heatley and Shea Weber, and going with Lindros, or if you wanted to replace Weber, go with Rob Blake, because, I mean, the 5 speed or 5 acceleration is a decent separator, and I don't think Thunderclap is a good ability at all. Again, personal opinion, I just don't think it's very effective in this year's game, even with the buff that it got at the beginning of 24. All of the other options, guys, I would probably just sit tight with your 96 overall cards and not rush out because you don't know what content is coming. They could release a new event and they end up being just as good as these cards. So maybe not what you wanted to hear in terms of one of the most anticipated content drops this year. I do want to talk a little bit about some of the things I've seen on Reddit and in comment sections, things like that, in terms of the selections for the 99 team builders. I'm going to take the Thornton bias out of the equation here. Totally understand he's a shark. Obviously, I love the fact that Joe Thornton got one. But I think it comes back to what would you consider as a team builder? And in my mind, it's always been players that weren't quite the best in the league, but their entire teams were like built around. A great one is like Rick Nash. Jerome McGinley would be another one. Those types of players. And I think that too often in prior years, they've gotten stuck with it's 99. The player base is only going to care if they're 6'8" and 400 pounds. Like last year, we got Jamie Alexiak and Nick Antropov. Both of them were not team builders, in my opinion. You didn't build a team around those two players. So that said, I personally love Rob Blake, Eric Lindros, and Joe Thornton because I think that they were players that you could build teams around. It just made sense. However, they're not 6'8". The big one that's comp is Chara quite often. And I do think that it's a little bit of a mistake not to include Chara in the 99. He was definitely a player that a team could be built around and one of the most sought after cards every year. But I think maybe if Chara was in here, the other two options would have been like Lindros and Thornton, let's say. Obviously, the 6'9" behemoth at 99 overall is going to be selected, so maybe they wanted to not do that. But I totally understand the dismay that not getting Chara as a 99 team builder is a little bit of a letdown. Again, let me know what you think in the comments section down below. I am going to test out Joe Thornton over the next little while. And if you've tried out Lindros or Rob Blake, let me know how they've played for you. Thank you guys again for watching. See you next time. Have a good one.